Hey guys, it's Ben here from the Strength Factory and welcome to the latest episode of Factory Knowledge, where I bring you all things action sports performance. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to everybody because my last video went viral, or at least viral for me. I think I've got over 600 views on how to ride your mountain bike faster. And I'm stoked on that and I really hope you enjoyed it. I've had some really good feedback. So if you haven't watched that, then make sure you check out my channel, hit subscribe and watch that last episode. This episode today is about what is the best deadlift for you, okay? And it's really simple. So we've got lots of different ways to deadlift. We've got the bar, we've got kettlebells, we can raise the bar up, we can lower the bar down even, and things like that. There's different stances, different body positions, and all of them are broadly called deadlifts, okay? Which is a hinging motion at the hip, which is different to a squat. Now, if you want to know my answer, what is the best deadlift? I'm going to say it's whichever one you can do pain-free and with perfect form. So there is no one correct answer for everybody out there, which I know is a little frustrating, a little annoying, but that is what I honestly think. So I'm just going to take you through a couple of different ways of deadlifting and who I think they're appropriate for and the sort of considerations that you've got to have. I'm going to start off just with a normal deadlift like you saw me do at the start of the video. That is the classic barbell deadlift everyone thinks of when you talk about deadlifting. And you know what? It's one of the best exercises going. However, not everyone can get in the correct position to do that with good, perfect form. And remember, perfect form is going to let you lift safely rather than doing it in your back. So, for instance, very tall people, you know, that bar is a fixed height. So if you're 5 foot tall, or 6'5" tall, that bar remains the same height. And obviously, for the taller person, it's relatively a lot lower on their body, so you have to get in a lot lower position to lift it. So for really tall people, it may not be appropriate. You may not be able to get in that position. For a lot of you guys watching are going to have limited mobility because maybe you spend too long sitting, driving, at a desk and things like that, and you don't quite have the range of motion to get in that position properly, regardless of your height. In which case, not a great option for you. The people who that is a great option for are those of you who do have better mobility. Maybe you've trained before and you know you can do it with good, perfect form, because that is always the highest priority when you're training. So here's another option for you. You can see here, I've raised up the bar on some rubber mats, so it's probably around 10 centimeters or about 4 inches off the floor. And what this is going to do is going to obviously raise the bar up and make it easier to get into a safe bottom position, okay, that position to lift it off the floor. That position allows you to maintain a perfectly flat back and neutral spine whilst you lift. Now it's at this point, when we start lifting off of blocks and pads and things like that, when someone always chirps up, it's not a deadlift unless you're pulling it off the floor. Well, yes, if you're into powerlifting, then that is the case. If you do Olympic lifting and you need to be able to lift from the floor, then you need to be able to deadlift off the floor as well. You are training to be better at your sport, okay? Don't train the exercise, train the adaptation. The adaptation that we're trying to get is to be stronger in that hinged body position. We're developing your hamstrings, your glutes, your back, in fact, your whole body. Whether it's an inch off the floor or on the floor, doesn't matter. And if you can't get in a safe bottom position off the floor, then you're not going to lift anyway. So this is always going to be better. And over time, maybe your technique, your mobility and your strength improves enough that you can lift off the floor. The whole point is that you've got to start at the start. And for you, that might be on the floor, or for you, it might be on a really high block like that to enable you to lift safely and productively to make progress. the humble kettlebell deadlift. Often overlooked, but actually these days a lot of gyms have got kettlebells, and it's a great way to teach yourself to deadlift in a really safe way, because most of you are going to be able to get into that body position quite easily. It's a lot less demanding than lifting with a straight bar. Because remember, the point is we want to do good quality work in that hinge position, that hinge movement, okay? And that's going to transfer to helping to make you stronger, more athletic, and more powerful in your sport. It doesn't matter what you're deadlifting. It doesn't matter that much the type of deadlift exactly that you are doing. The whole point is that you need to be stronger in a hinge position to have a better riding position on your mountain bike, on your motocross bike, on your snowboard, on your skis, or whatever it is that you're doing. The final type of deadlift I'm going to show you there is using this, the trap bar, also known as a hex bar. And for me actually, this is my go-to deadlift with pretty much everybody I work with at the gym and for most of my training. If you've got access to one, there's such good bits of kit, because number one, nearly everybody can get in a good position to pull a trap bar from the floor. And if you can't, you can use your pads or whatever to lift it up a bit if you need to. Number two, it's just a safer position that requires less skill to lift safely. Compared to a normal barbell, where, you know, it is a safe exercise, but there's a lot more that can go wrong basically. With a trap bar, there's a bit more room for maneuver, and most people find that they can lift hard and lift heavy, but also lift safe and not have things like lower back pain going on. So what you got there is just this idea that there's, you know, the deadlift, okay, as a whole, is about making you stronger in a hinge, which is hinging the hips back. It's about helping you to create a stronger position in your sport. It's about building whole body strength and whole body power. How you get that is unimportant, okay? It doesn't matter if you don't lift off the floor. It doesn't matter if you don't use a barbell, okay? Use any of the techniques that I've just shown you with perfect form, and over time you use the principle of progressive overload, i.e. you either do more reps or you do more sets or you do more weight, and then over time you're going to make progress in your strength and in your training. So I hope that's clear, pretty short and sharp this week. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to hit subscribe and share it with all your mates, and I'll see you next week.